Welcome to Top Talkers with my panel today, Melanie Adams from Bob FM, The Morning Show, Alison Sandor from CFRA, and Stuntman Stu from the Majic 100 Morning Show. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning. Morning.
So it happens, you have disagreements with people at work, it happens all the time, and apparently, according to a study from the Sandor School of Business, when two men argue in an office place, it's seen almost as something that happens, big deal, and that there's going to be no real long-term negative impact. They'll shake hands, have a beer, or whatever the cliche is afterwards. But apparently, when looked at as two women having an argument in a workplace, that was seen to have much longer negative impacts. At least that's what people foresaw. Is this something that is part of a bias in the minds of people in business or in the world, or is this something that you think is actually true?
I apologize in advance for the angry messages and emails you're going to get.
No.
But I actually think in a lot of cases it's true. I think when women fight with each other, it's worse. It lasts longer. Like when you and I worked together, how many arguments did we have?
Tons.
And we'd snipe at each other for a few minutes and then we were fine.
That's why you're no longer working together.
But I mean, there are women who I've worked with over the last 15 years who I still don't talk to because of arguments we've had.
From your side, or they don't talk? You don't talk to them?
Both sides. Like
okay.
there's an awkwardness there, and I mean, not all women are like that, but I think in a lot of cases, fights between two women tend to have longer repercussions than between men and women or men and men.
Do you agree with that?
I do, and I don't know if it's just because I am a woman and I'm so sensitive that when someone yells at me, especially a woman, it's kind of like, well, why are you on my case?
Who do you think you are?
You should know what I'm thinking. You should know how I'm feeling. When a man, it's just like, oh, well, okay, fine.
Okay,
like when Stu says something stupid, it's like, okay.
Oh, she's stupid.
So wait a second. So it's seen as a sister betraying you. Is that what I'm getting from this? You said she should know what you're thinking?
Kind of, because you kind of feel like women are more on your wavelength, whereas men just kind of are out there in general.
Yes. Fights are we're no stranger to arguments. It's part of the creative process, especially in what we do, Stu. Do you perceive a fight between, or an argument or disagreement between two women at work?
Who did this study?
The Sandor School of Business, and it was published in the Academy of Management Perspectives journal.
Have they run out of things to look up, to talk about? Really?
Come on.
Have they run out of things? Who cares if you're having an argument at
work?
Well,
productivity, if it's true, would be massively affected. I mean, you don't have a working relationship between two managers.
If Angie and Tricia were fighting on the Magic Morning Show, I wouldn't see it any different than if I walked down the hall and saw you fighting with Kurt. I mean, it wouldn't register to me as being anything different. It's just two adults having a discussion.
Okay.
That's just how I see it.
So that's how you would see it. So you wouldn't see any long-term negative effects with two women arguing. Okay.
Not at all.
Is it because women have way better memories and remember exactly what we say always?
Oh my God. Never forget a thing.
The way I look at it is I know what my brain does after I've had a fight with another woman, and it's I'm gonna get you, and I just assume she's thinking the same thing. So it's like it's women.
Wow.
Sometimes when they fight, it is not just about fighting; it's about I will show you.
Wow. Okay.
And I just assume since I'm thinking that, she must be thinking that too. So
it's interesting that Stu made that motion because catfight was used regularly in this as something that was termed when they basically what happened was they gave an example of a fight between two coworkers. One was between two men, Adam and Steve. You've given the case study, Adam and Sarah, a man and a woman, and then Sarah and Anne. And when describing the long-term effects, they talked about it being like a cat fight and something that would not be reparable.
So what's the male equivalent to a cat fight? Like when we see two women fighting in the office, say, "Oh, did you see the cat fight today between Joanne and Suzanne at HR?" If two guys were fighting, what would it be? A dog fight?
No. I mean, when men fight with each other, they tend to swear and yap at each other's face.
Yes.
Women are a little more devious sometimes, and we don't.
We're not that complicated. That's what it is.
One thing's coming out of your mouth, but your eyes are saying a totally different story.
We are so much more complicated. That's why.
Because we'll just say what we're thinking.
Yes.
And we don't try. Like if Stu says something to me, and I don't think, what does he really mean by that? I don't think that at all. I know what he really means. He just said it. Yeah. That's the difference, I think, between men fighting for sure. At least I don't know about women fighting, but
a lot of women fighting is like that. It is. It's what did she really mean when she said that?
Could you two fight right now to give an example?
No.
Just so Jeff and I can sit back and watch in the front row.
Not a second.
Like, can you fight with Jello?
Don't you think with the challenges that you've had, that women have had traditionally in the workplace, that this is so counterproductive that you'd be able to step up above it?
No, it is, and no, I can't.
You can't. So you admit some of it comes from you then?
Oh, of course some of it comes from me.
She's the problem. Mel is the problem.
I see.
Some of it, I mean, I'm not totally to blame, but I'm at least partially to blame.
I'm quite surprised, actually. I really thought that one of the two of you at least would say, I think that this is just a kind of a negative outlook that people have about women in the workplace, but you do think it's true.
To a certain extent, it is a negative outlook. I mean, but on the other hand, to a certain extent, it's true. And there are certain aspects of it. Like, yeah, when we fight, we hold it inside of us for months and months and months or weeks. It depends on what it is. Like, you know. But at the same time, I think this study does blow it a little bit out of proportion. I mean, we're all adults, and we all do eventually get over it.
I guess my last question will be, do you think it is derived from a place of competition between women? Because there's competition between men as well. There's competition between men and women in every way, but is it a bit different between women? I don't know.
We haven't been in the same workforce as men for as long as you guys have, and we do have to fight a little harder to get higher up, and it's not, you know, I'm not complaining or whining, but that's the truth. We do, for certain jobs, have to do a little more, and when we see another woman, maybe that's a threat to us trying to get up there.
Interesting.
I don't know, I'm really hoping that somebody has an argument in the office today. Like, I'm going to go around this building today just looking for something. I'm going to start something, I'm going to throw something out there just to see two women fight.
Stu, I never saw you as an instigator. Wait a second. Yes, I have. All right, I want to thank my panel so much for joining us on Top Talkers today. Melanie Adams, Alison Sandor, and of course, Stuntman Stu.